All right, hey everybody, it's Nathaniel and Clara reporting from Dallas County. Again, I said it twice. Who am I here with today?
Clara Avila, also in Dallas County.
Yeah, really good. So, this is a new thing we're trying. What are we doing?
I believe we are discussing some Reddit stories.
We are discussing Reddit stories to determine whether somebody is or may not be the butthole. So, we're going to look at these situations and then we're going to give our assessment.
We're going to give our personal input.
Our personal input.
Perfect.
And
what everybody wants.
Yes. And they will determine whether or not this person is or may not be a butthole.
Okay, good.
Okay, first question. Are you a butthole, Clara?
Me?
Yes.
I don't think so.
That's exactly what a butthole would say.
Is it?
All right,
I
so...
like to think I'm not. Are you?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, it sounds like something a butthole would say.
How dare you. So, all right, so this is the first one. It looks like it's from a throwaway account, and it's from username thebabysitter9.
Okay.
And it says, am I the butthole, or AITA, for calling the police when the parents I babysit for were late?
Okay.
So what do you think? Do you think that's a...
I'm gonna need some more information.
Like, on the surface, do you think that's a bad
surface
thing?
Level? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it depends. What was the situation?
All right, well, we're going to get into the situation. I, meaning this is the OP. OP means original poster. I don't know if you know.
Yes, I know that.
I, 16 female, so it's a teenage girl, sometimes babysit on weekends. My mom's coworker needed a babysitter, and she gave him my number. I agreed to babysit 3 kids from 2 p.m. till 8:30 p.m. because the parents had some party to get to. It went okay, but the parents didn't get back at 8:30. At 9, I tried calling them, but he didn't pick up. I texted a few times. At 9:30, I tried calling again, and again at 10, and at 10:30. I tried calling my parents, but my dad was at a work dinner, and my mom didn't pick up. I tried calling the parents of the kids again, but they still weren't picking up or responding. At 11:30-ish, I called the police because I didn't know what else to do. And I was worried something might have happened to the parents too. They came back at around the same time the parents came back. The dad screamed at me and he is still very upset. So, that was the initial story.
Yeah. Okay. How old is OP again?
16. She's 16.
Yeah, that sounds like a tough situation. I mean, she was scared, obviously.
The thing about having like a teenager babysit, I think is kind of an outdated notion, isn't it? Because it isn't like a kid taking care of a kid. Because she's still a kid herself.
Like, it really is. It's just like a bigger kid taking care of a smaller kid. That's all that it is.
Yeah, but like it's not
it's really interesting how a parent will trust like a 13-year-old to take care of their like 3-year-old toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's like
I wouldn't exactly call that adult supervision.
It's not,
because like leaving your kid with a teenage babysitter is a bit tough because she's a kid herself, and she acted like a kid would react.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe an adult would probably react that way.
An adult might react that way too. Like if a parent says that they're going to be back by a certain time, you expect them to be back by that time.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're not back, and when they don't respond to messages and calls, of course you're going to think that something has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And like obviously she tried everything that she could think of before calling the police.
Mm-hmm.
Although even if I were in that situation, I wouldn't call the police.
You wouldn't call the police?
I would not call the police.
Why not?
Because...
It would be like, your parents are dead now, I guess. I guess I will now take care of you.
No. Yes, I am your parent now.
Okay.
No, but... calling the police is such an extreme reaction, I think. But I don't know, like, what was going on, you know. I don't know what was happening with the kids.
I'm assuming they were in bed at that
they're
point.
in bed and asleep. So, like, they said that they were going to be back around 8, right?
8:30,
8:30. Yeah. And she called until 10:30 at least.
I think they didn't come around until, like, maybe, like...
she said that she called the police, and they arrived around the same time as the police
11:30 is when they came.
Around 11:30. So that's... it's like 3 to 4 hours more than they were meant to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have just kept waiting.
You just kept waiting and hope they
probably would have just kept
back.
waiting and hope that they came back.
Would you charge overtime?
Yeah, absolutely. I would charge overtime. I'm not supposed to be there that long.
Mm.
And, like, at that point, if by midnight they're not back, that's when I would start freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I would start really being like, oh my gosh, has something happened? Because, you know, they're adults and they're going out to a party, was it?
I think so.
And, you know, drinking happens and, like, a bunch of stuff happens at a party. So, you know, well, obviously, I can't know for sure how it would actually react in a situation like that.
I think the dad probably had, like, a little bit of the drink,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of the bottle, and that kind of
made
him more prone to get a little bit angrier than he probably would have otherwise if he was sober. Do you think in hindsight, do you think that would have been like, if we assumed that they were drinking but assumed they were sober, that they would think that, oh, this person is responsible enough to call the police?
Uh-huh.
So now we know that they're not afraid to call the cops.
I guess that's a conclusion you could make.
So it's really silver lining it, but so what do you think? Yes, butthole, or no butthole?
I don't think so. I think it was just a scared teenager who just had a bad reaction to the situation.
Okay. There's an edit here. There's an update.
Okay.
Okay, there's an edit. I called the police because I was worried about the parents not picking up / being late. And because I really had to get home, not involve CPS or anything like that. That was the edit.
I'm so sorry. Can you say that one more time?
She said, I called the police because I was worried about the parents not picking up / being late. Not because I really had to get home. Not to invite CPS or anything like that.
Okay. I don't see how that was really a necessary addition.
Okay, there's a second edit.
Oh, okay.
Since some people ask, I didn't call the emergency number. I'm not in the U.S. Police isn't violent here, okay?
Okay.
And I was paid up front, so not for the extra 3 hours. This was a response to a few comments. I don't think all U.S. cops are violent. Okay, so she's not an American.
Okay, so not an American. Okay.
Well,
then in that case, maybe it's not such an extreme reaction to call the police.
Okay. Like, I don't know how their
I don't know what
their structure is over there.
Their police situation is over there, but like over here, like it better be something serious if you're calling the police.
Okay, so here's another one. It says it's 2013. I don't think it's 2013. It's 2024. They should know how to answer a cell phone, which is true. They really should have been there to answer their phone if their sitter was calling.
Obviously, they weren't being responsible either. They probably were like, oh, the babysitter will handle it, and just decided to drink away and party away without any care or thought.
Okay. And here's another one. It says, I'm sorry the parents came home 3 hours later than they said they would. They gave you no heads up, and they wouldn't answer their phone. What were you supposed to think? All this drama could have been avoided if they had, one, been upfront with you on how late they really planned on staying out, or two, let you know by text or phone call that they are going to be later than they expected. So you wouldn't worry, or three, if they had just answered their phone any one of the numerous times you called them. But no, the parents drift home on their own sweet timetable and are surprised and shocked to find flashing lights and officers at their house. Well, I hope they were embarrassed. And then the dad took it out on you by screaming, quote unquote, at you. Oh, and he's still, quote unquote, still very upset. Well, you are upset too. I bet he didn't apologize for worrying you, did he? Or give you a bonus for making you stay later and worrying you. Lol. That's a classic behavior right there. Yep. So you called 911. I hope you never babysit for them again, and you should let all your babysitter friends know about these people, just to tell their friends know that the people are like. Just tell your friends the whole story, like you told Reddit, not the butthole or Nata.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there it is. Do you think there's like a giant like web of like babysitters, like a network of babysitter?
There absolutely is.
Okay.
Yeah.
They give them like the blacklist them the do not sit.
Oh, definitely.
Icon.
Oh, definitely. I know for a fact.
Why, you babysitted before?
No, I've never babysitted before. I never got into that. But I've had friends who babysat, and they always knew the other babysitters that were around. That way, they could be like, hey, don't sit for these parents. Or, you know, like sometimes it's like a turf situation where it's like, hey, this is my house. You know, these are the kids that I babysit. You stay in your area unless I can't do it. And then, you know, they work together. They figure it out. There's a network.
Okay. Excuse me.
And it can be a little competitive, too.
Do you think they start gang wars, like turf wars?
Honestly, I don't know. They might, though.
Okay. So, yeah, the verdict here is not the butthole, obviously.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that verdict.
Okay, so here's one from Deleted. Ooh. Here's one from Deleted. Deleted user. So, AITA, for refusing to give up me extra seat. I think he meant to say my extra seat. For refusing to give up me extra seat. That was a great accent. For someone else's toddler on a flight that I paid for because I'm fat.
Okay.
Yes, butthole or not butthole?
I couldn't understand what you said over your weird accent
It
that
said,
you just did.
This person said it's for not giving up an extra seat that she paid for someone else's toddler on a flight that because she's fat.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. She paid for the ticket.
Okay, so here it is. 34-year-old female, am obese.
Yep.
I'm actively working toward losing weight, and I made progress, but I'm still obese as I'm typing this.
Yep.
I am going over to see my brother and his husband for Christmas across the country, and because I'm fat, I booked an extra seat so everyone can be more comfortable. Mm-hmm. I know it stinks having to pay for an extra seat, but it is what it is. I know Southwest has this customer of size policy, but I've had some bad experience with Southwest even before I was obese, so I wasn't doing that. And it's mostly my fault I even got fat. Everything goes smoothly from checking into security and boarding, at least at first. This woman comes to my row with a boy who appeared to be about a year old. She told me to squeeze into one seat so her son can sit in the other. She told me, not asked. I told her no, that I paid for this seat for the extra space. She makes a big fuss over it, which got the flight attendant's attention. She told the flight attendant I was stealing the seat from her son. Then I showed my boarding pass, proving that I, in fact, paid for the extra seat. The flight attendant asked me if I could try to squeeze in, but I said no, and I wanted the extra seat I paid for. The boy, who the mom said is around 18 months old, was supposed to sit on her lap so she could just do that. The flight attendant eventually told the mom to put her son on her lap. I got a dirty looks from passive-aggressive remarks from her the entire flight, and I do feel a little bad because the boy looked hard to control, so AITA.
Why didn't the mom just buy the kid a seat?
That's a good question. I think she wanted to just have her, like, try to save money.
Save money to save... Well, then why is she complaining?
I think because of the fact that she was like, oh, there's an unused seat
yeah.
right there, and I can use it.
And I can use it, but no, you can't because it's not your seat.
Because it's actually not her seat. It's an actually paid for reserved seat for this lady.
That's a tough one.
For this lady of a certain size.
Mm-hmm.
And I do, like, admit, like, I do, like... I know there's two schools of thoughts in this.
Yeah.
One is the more, like, I pay for this. It's mine. And
I'm not going to sacrifice my comfort so that someone else's kid can, have a seat of his own.
Even though you didn't do it. And then there's the sharing is caring thing.
The sharing is caring. I will sacrifice my comfort so that this kid can...
So, like be good-natured.
Sit down, good-natured.
Goodwill towards men.
And
that kind of thing.
Blah, blah, blah.
There's that. So what do you think this should have been? I think it's up to her to choose. Actually.
I think it's harder to choose, and I think it's about perspective. As like a bigger girl myself, like I understand the want to, like, obviously you want to be comfortable as well. Everybody else gets to be comfortable in this world made for the smaller people, Mm-hmm. So, like, she knew that she needed 2 seats in order to fit comfortably, in order to not cause discomfort to somebody else by having to squeeze next to them. She knew that she was going to be taking up more space than, she probably would have liked. So she got the ticket. And then all of a sudden, here's this mom who she didn't know about. She wasn't expecting that.
Mm-hmm.
Who is like, hey, can I use this empty seat for my son? And, she said no, because that's her seat, and she needs it in order to fly comfortably, and she believes she needs it in order for, like, the rest of the flight to fly comfortably as well. Who knows what the kid would have done if he was sat next to her. Like, maybe there wasn't enough space for him. I don't know.
Not. I mean, like, she can't be upset because it's the bigger, it's OP's decision to make, and she can't be mad about it.
You can't be mad about it.
And I don't know. It's also this weird thing about flights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people get more crazy on flights.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is with
especially with a baby.
Uh-huh. Like, people are, like, a lot more prone to get angry on flights.
Oh, if it's 18 months, then is that a toddler then?
It says toddler in the description.
Yeah, especially with a toddler
as
well.
I don't know how long the flight is.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it wasn't a long flight.
Hopefully, yeah. Because that would have been an annoying situation, having to sit next to that mom, making her mumbles and grumbles at her the whole flight.
Right. And there's an edit on here.
Okay.
I did not fly Southwest. That's the edit.
The edit is that she did not fly Southwest. Okay,
right.
Somebody must have been confused about the fact that she mentioned Southwest, but she said that she wasn't going to fly Southwest.
Right.
So clearly somebody was confused.
Okay, so here's some from our fellow Redditors.
Okay.
She's Ta. I mean, she's the butthole. I'm guessing the lady.
Mm-hmm.
For not buying a seat, not like the lady with the toddler.
Yep.
For not buying a seat for her son and assuming someone else would give up their seat they paid for. Odds are she was hoping there'd be extra seats on the flight so she didn't have to pay and use the lap thing as a loophole. Classic case of snooze you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one that says, you pay for that seat, it's yours. An email to Southwest. There's a Southwest.
Oh.
Asking them to remind their FAs, flight attendants, to enforce the seat policy would be warranted too. You asked the flight attendant for help, and she told you to squeeze into one seat for the unticketed child. You might even get some miles or goodies for it. But the OP responded,
said, I did not fly Southwest.
I didn't fly Southwest because of some bad experiences in the past. I heard they didn't give free seats now, and I didn't want to do that.
Yep.
That they do give free extra seats, but they didn't want to do that. So there's that. Here's another one. You are a little bit of a butthole to yourself for how apologetic you are in the post about your size. You should always do what you can to be as healthy as you can, but being fat isn't a character flaw or a moral failing. We all have our own moral challenges in life, and you deserve not to be ashamed of your body or yourself, even if you aren't currently meeting your goals. If mom wants an extra seat for her kids, she should have purchased one. She's not entitled to a seat you purchased, and you don't need to feel bad for her bad behavior.
Yep.
And then OP responds with that, I'm not really apologetic about or ashamed of my body as much as I am stating a fact. I used to eat unhealthily and didn't exercise. It wasn't until I had a heart attack at 33 that I decided that this couldn't go on. Okay. And for context, I believe she is 36 now, so that was 3 years ago. 34. 34. So this happened last year.
Last year.
So this is a very recent change.
A recent change.
So yeah, that last one didn't really have much to do with the actual situation.
That last one really didn't have anything to do with the actual situation.
More about like, queen, you can't do that.
Plus size queen.
Don't be mad about yourself, plus size queen.
All women are beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, she shouldn't be ashamed. But I'm glad that she's taking this out to be healthy, because you don't want to live a short life.
Yeah, absolutely.
You gotta be healthy and love yourself.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe you should take some notes.
What? How dare you? I do eat super healthy.
You drink like 5 bottles of Coke a day.
Diet Coke.
So Diet Coke. Of course, like that's so much better.
You know what the WHO says is the amount of Diet Cokes it takes for it to be actually bad for you?
What?
19 Cokes a day.
19
Diet Cokes a day.
Okay.
And I don't drink 19 of these a day.
Yeah, not anymore. Because Mama stopped you.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
Don't do that every single time. Nobody wants to hear that.
Everyone loves to hear that. All right, so okay, here's another one.
Okay.
AITA for telling my sister she's an idiot if she thought her actions at her wedding wouldn't have consequences. Okay, so this is a little bit kind of skewed. This right off the bat, this seems to be kind of skewed a little bit. Mm-hmm. In like, when it sounds like you're giving like when you're trying to get like a survey, and you're like, would you vote for the cool man of the people, or would you deal with that other guy who stinks and smells bad? It kind of sounds like that. Mm-hmm. It sounds like. It's kind of setting up the blocks of saying like, oh, my sister had what's coming to her.
Okay, a little bit of a what's the word? Something narrator.
An unreliable
narrator, mm-hmm. Perhaps. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so on my phone, this is person's lying on the phone. Quick backstory: my biological dad died when I was young, and my mom remarried when my sister was 8. And I was 10. We're now in our late 20s. Mm-hmm. Stepdad focused a lot of his time providing for us, so I never got close to him, but I am grateful for him. I am engaged, and my sister is going to marry in about a month. My wedding will be in a year. Both of us are close to our mom, though. My sister, who I will call Noelle, effed up, in my opinion. Yeah.
Sorry.
At first, I was on her side, but now I feel bad for stepdad.
Ooh.
Noelle isn't going to have him walk her down and give her away.
Okay, so the stepsister isn't gonna let the stepdad. Oh wait, is it it's her sister,
mm-hmm.
and then a stepdaughter?
A stepdad.
Okay, so it's her and her sister, and then the stepdad.
Yeah. Their mom remarried.
The mom remarried. So Noelle is her younger sister?
Her younger biological
sister. And she doesn't want
her stepdad to walk her
down the aisle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even though her biological dad is deceased.
Okay.
Okay, so I understand this is her decision, and when that came out, I hoped my mom and stepdad understand that it was her choice. The turning point happened last week, when she told us that she will not be sitting at the family table. When asked her why she made it clear he wasn't family to her. Again, wait. Oh, he won't be sitting at the family table. Okay. So she is basically exiling him from the family table.
What?
Even though he has been her stepdad since she was 8.
What?
So, again, her right. But, darn, he is the reason we had such a good childhood and are debt-free. He paid for college and worked a ton. I knew this would result in them not going to the wedding, and they informed my sister. She called me upset and was ranting about how it was her wedding, that she was being abandoned, and I had enough and told her she is an idiot if she didn't think her actions wouldn't have consequences. She called me a jerk and hung up. I am unsure if I was a jerk, and I feel guilty since I am now closer to my parents, since I promised he can walk me down my wedding. Okay, and then OP is offered a following explanation for why they might think they are the butthole. And she said, I told my sister she is an idiot if she didn't think her actions have consequences. I may have gone too far. I think... Well, what do you think, Clara?
I don't know. I mean, it's true that it is her wedding. But, like... I mean, the man raised her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can understand maybe not wanting him to walk her down the aisle, but not letting him sit at the family table?
Mm-hmm. I think that is too far.
That's too far. That's a little too far. Yeah. I mean, because not having someone walk you down the aisle, that can be like a fun, oh, I don't need somebody to walk me down the aisle. I walk myself down the aisle.
It's such
whatever,
a neo-feminist thing to say, yeah, but it's true. Listen, I get it.
Listen, that could be an interpretation of the situation,
mm-hmm.
but not letting him sit at the family table is just clear, like what she said, like exile.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you said or something. I don't know. Someone said it.
I said it.
You said it. It's just such a clear, like I don't even want him here, really.
So it's no, like, yeah, of course. Like, why would you say, like, it makes him feel like he's not wanted, so why would he go? And he can't scream abandon. Because I think, like, she abandoned him.
Yeah, and, like, of course the mom's not going to go if the stepdad's not going to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know? That's just... Yeah.
I mean...
I don't know.
I can't believe that somebody would be so, I guess... The word is ungrateful to this guy who worked his butt off to provide for her and her sister to make sure that they don't have any debt.
But then again,
mm-hmm.
you know, we only know the information from this sister.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything about the other sister.
We don't know her side of the story.
We don't know her side of the story. You know, maybe something happened and, you know, it wasn't as happy as a childhood as the other sister had. I don't know.
I do kind of feel like something had to have happened for her to make her feel this way for this guy who seems to be like a provider for her.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, but as the information I'm given to now, I do think OP is in the right here. What do you think?
Probably. Yeah. So I think that the sister probably overreacted a bit and is just, you know, in her own emotions and can't tell that what she is doing is upsetting people.
I think at least let him sit with the rest of the family.
I think at least let him sit with the rest of the family.
At least let him sit on the bride's side.
Sit on the bride's side. Let him sit with his wife.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. I think Okay, this is one of the things here. I says, I think you're Nata, not the butthole. But I'm confused by this. Honestly, did your sister ever express that she didn't consider stepdad family before? This seems like an out of nowhere kind of. I agree. So so OP responds, not really. She's always idolized out the deceased father and was upset when she hit a milestone and he couldn't be there. I think this came out of full force on this issue that she decided to reject stepdad completely. We both didn't have close relationships, but that was due to him working like 60 hours a week to provide. So they weren't, I guess they weren't close, I guess, because he was so busy working in order to provide a good life for them.
And that's where, a bit of the ungratefulness comes in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, he wasn't actually really there. And it's like, he was, but in a different way.
Right.
He was making sure that you guys were comfortable, making sure that you guys didn't have to want for anything. Working his butt off so that, the mom could stay and, like, take care of them, and none of them had to worry about,
about debt and everything.
Poverty and everything.
Here's another one. It says, she'll have to live with the consequences of this choice, I guess. I can understand opting to not have him walk her down the aisle, but excluding him from the family table altogether is way out of line. And OP responds, yeah, I understood not walking her down, but the table was basically an FU to him. I sadly think the damage has been done, and even if she retracts what she said, it can't be undone. The plate is broken, and duct tape won't fix it. I don't know. If he really loves her, he'll probably accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. If she were to be like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, forgive me, I don't know what I was thinking.
If she admitted it, yeah. Probably. Can she get his tuition money back? And then OP responds, it was a gift, so no. Okay.
Okay.
And then we got not the butthole. Your sister needed a reality check. Sounds like she has some issues that needed resolving. Question: does he have biological kids that he treats better, or is being distant just for his personality? And then OP responds, no, it's only the two of us. They tried for kids, but my mom had health issues, so they decided against it. Okay, so
yeah. So he probably sees them as his daughters, and that just must have been really hurtful.
Yeah. We're getting too many am I the buttholes. I mean not the buttholes. So let's do a butthole one.
Okay, is this gonna be the last one?
No, we still got a lot of way to go. So
Nathaniel.
Okay, so here's one from relationship advice.
Okay.
My 23 male oh wait, no, this was removed. Was it removed?
Oh, well then, never mind, I guess.
No, don't worry, they have archives. Okay, so my 23 male high school sweetheart, my, meaning the OP, is 23 male.
Okay.
High school sweetheart. 24 female, who is his sweetheart.
Is the high school sweetheart.
Is leaving me. How can I convince her to try counseling?
Okay.
Okay, so let's see.
There you go.
I love my wife so much. I've been with her since my junior year of high school and her senior year of high school. I wasn't very attractive in high school, but I had a late growth spurt. On top of that, I started hitting the gym. This gave me access to women who was extremely attractive. Women who didn't pay me no mind. This led me to getting a hall pass from my wife and eventually needing to open the relationship.
What?
My wife was against it, but I knew I owed it to myself.
No.
It was going to be temporary until I got everything out of my system.
Wrong.
2 years passed.
Bad.
I thought everything was going great. Well, and I was having a blast. I'm sure you were.
Of course you were.
I thought our relationship was great, and she serves me with divorce papers.
Yeah.
I haven't signed it, but she said the 2 years since we opened our relationship have been the most difficult in her life.
Yeah.
Now she didn't tell me this or communicate this with me. She says she feels like that he doesn't value her. I told her if I didn't value her, I would have divorced her. I offered to close the relationship, but we could get therapy, and she said she's over it. She loves me but can't do this anymore. She's staying with her friend and her friend's boyfriend, and I am just at a loss.
Wow.
So, yes, no, not the butthole?
Definitely the butthole.
How dare you? He just needed to bang.
He just needed to bang.
You just needed...
I have to get it out of my system.
I know
I'm hot now.
I owe it to myself.
I owe it to myself because I'm hot now. So now I have to sleep with all of these women that I didn't get a chance to sleep with when I was younger, and I had to settle for my wife.
Slow mo, my uggo wife. My uggo fucker wife.
Oh my gosh.
And now she's serving me with a divorce.
And now she's serving me with a
divorce.
What? Huh? Who could have ever thought that this could have been happening? Terrible.
What did you think was gonna happen?
Some people, they're so clueless.
So
I'm sure that throughout the 2 years that she had let him know that she was not liking this, but he just decided to ignore all of it and thought that everything was just all hunky-dory because he was going out getting some tail. Having a blast, doing a good time.
He did say that she was against it at first. Says.
Which means that she was always against it.
I mean, she was never
never
for it.
Never for it. He just convinced her to say that she was for it, so that he could go off and do it without a guilty conscience.
Mm-hmm. And then okay, so here's some. I owed it to myself. Kindly F all the way off with that BS.
Yep.
So here's another one. Yikes, I always get triggered by stories where men had a glow up but also developed a massive ego to go along with it. I had an ex who dumped me because he lost 15 pounds and I figured if he could continue losing more weight, he could finally score the kinds of women he was more attracted to. Spoiler, those relationships ended up failing and he crawled back to me. I made fun of him, told him to pound sand.
Yep.
As you would do. Mm-hmm. You're only 23 and been in an open relationship. You coerced her into getting. The bar is in heck. You already failed so much at only 23. 23 and getting divorced. Like, why couldn't you play the field as a single man? Why do you have to get married super young and have an open marriage you didn't want?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure this happened suddenly, but he's just stupid and selfish. I mean, makes sense.
Yeah.
So your relationship advice is just sign the papers. Don't make it any harder than it has to be.
Yeah.
That's my relationship advice.
Yeah.
So
let her go. You know?
Try counseling. I think that ship has sailed.
It's too late now.
Too late. Just cut your losses and get and just.
And then go enjoy your single life.
Just be a single life
so much.
That you wanted so badly
and sleep with all of the women and have no fulfilling relationships.
Yeah, that's what you get.
That's what you got.
Okay. Okay, so here's another one.
Okay, is this the last one?
No.
Ah!
Let me see. Okay. This is another Am I the Butthole one.
Okay.
And it is for snitching on my sister because I was worried about her pregnancy.
Oh, go boy.
Hello, I haven't been on Reddit for a while. That's why this account is new. I'm 35, male, and my little sister is 22, female. Okay, so a little bit of an age gap here.
Okay.
Last year, she told me she was pregnant with her boyfriend, and I think he meant to say like she was impregnated by her boyfriend and not pregnant with her boyfriend. Like she's not giving birth to her boyfriend.
I am pregnant with my boyfriend, and in the 9 months I will birth him.
He will be birthed.
And he will be birthed. And then he will come out a full-grown man, and we will be together forever.
Again. Okay, so and I was the first and at the time the only person she mentioned it at a very early stage. I promised not to tell anyone else until she was ready. However, time passed and I got no news about her or the pregnancy. I know she was still alive because of her social media feed, but I saw no signs of the pregnancy progressing, nor anyone else in our family said nothing about the pregnancy.
Oh boy, here we go.
I tried to contact her, but she always ghosted me. She should have given birth in May of this year, but still no baby. So after a long So after so long of not knowing about her or the baby, in July, I called a line here in Texas to ask for a wellness check on her and the baby. I got no response. In the months after the rest of our family stopped talking to me without warning. Before Christmas, I got a call from her. Right after saying hello, she asked me if I called the cops on her. I told her no, I called for a wellness check for her and the baby. She started crying and telling me the police came to her home and was charged for being suspected to have an illegal abortion. The baby miscarried in January, and she had a rough time, and now was being questioned about it. She told me the charges were dropped, but she was with our mom at her place when the police came, and it was traumatizing, quote unquote, to her. He put it in quotes. It was traumatizing for you.
Yeah, it was. It probably was.
That's how he's writing it.
Yeah, I know, and I'm responding to that.
Okay. And had to explain everything to our mom and had no idea what happened. I couldn't even finish to tell her my side of the story when she hanged out. I think she meant hanged up.
Hanged up, yeah.
I called our mom to ask her what was it about, and she told me it was better if I didn't come for Christmas. I feel like I'm being shunned for having responsible worries and doing what was at my disposal to take care of my sister and my nephew/niece. I don't think it's fair, but I gotta ask if I was wrong in any way.
Yeah.
Is he the butthole?
I think a little bit.
Why is he the butthole a little bit?
I mean, why didn't he just go visit his sister?
I don't know. They might be living in two different areas.
Yeah, they might be living in two different areas, but if you really care about your sister, won't you go visit her yourself?
Maybe.
To see if things are okay?
I mean, she's clearly ducking him.
Yeah, but, it's a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
She told him that she was pregnant, and then, she lost the baby, and she was probably so sad about it that she just couldn't bring herself to tell him that she lost it.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like she was keeping it a secret from the family that she had a baby and that she miscarried.
Oh, right. So she probably didn't feel a need to do that. Do you think she should have at least told her brother about it, who was clearly worried out of his skull?
I think maybe, but when you're dealing with that sort of thing, it's so difficult to even think about stuff like that. You just want to forget it. So it's maybe she could have reached out to him and be like, hey, sorry I've been so dodgy, I lost the baby, but I don't know what her situation is, right, other than what he says.
But yeah, I think the big issue here is him calling the cops.
The big issue is him calling the cops
in Texas, where abortion laws are really tight.
Abortion laws are really uptight.
And they basically witch hunted her.
He mentioned a baby, so they were probably expecting one, and when they didn't see one, they were like, ooh.
You had an abortion. And that's a no-no here.
Yeah.
And then they did who knows what, which is probably not very, very fun to go through.
Yeah.
Though I don't like how he was like, it's traumatizing.
Yeah, no, that is traumatizing. Yeah. You can't put that in quotes.
I think he doesn't really understand the.
I don't think he understands
what he was doing.
Not to mention that she had to. That's probably the way that the mom found out.
Yeah.
That she had a miscarriage.
That stinks.
And that stinks. And. I don't know. I mean, I think that they probably could talk it out, and they could work it out amongst themselves, and that he doesn't have to be banned from Christmas. But that's really yikes.
Mm-hmm. So let's move on.
Is this the last one?
Maybe. So for AITA, which is Am I the Butthole?
Yes.
For kicking my daughter out of my house for being pregnant.
Okay, I guess we'll find out.
Is that on the surface?
On the surface, of course, I'm going to think that they're the butthole on the surface of that. Because what a sentence.
Okay. So I, 45 female, so this is a mother, have a 27-year-old daughter. She has 6 kids
Ah,
between the ages of 10 and 11 months.
okay.
That's a lot of kids.
It's a lot of children.
And they're all between the ages of 10 and 11 months. Did you have them like these two sets of triplets?
Here's an interesting fact. Interesting fact. Women who give birth are extremely fertile after they give birth.
Okay.
So if you immediately have sex after having a child, you are very likely to get pregnant again very quickly after. So that's how they could be that close. That's how they could be so close in ages.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of kids to be very close in ages, though.
Yes, which means that she keeps getting pregnant and then keeps having sex immediately after getting giving birth.
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
It's a little bit funny.
How dare you? So there are 3 different fathers. Yep. She receives child support from 2, and she is still with the 3rd.
Okay.
And they have been together for 5 years, which is nice. My daughter works part-time and her fiance is a chef full-time. They have lived with us for the past year and a half due to getting evicted from their last home.
Oh.
The kids and them have our upstairs bedrooms. There's 2, but it's still crowded for 6 children.
Yeah.
They are constantly asking me for help with phone bills. My husband and I have asked for no rent so they'll be able to save money to get a home, which I do not believe they are doing. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I have put up with loud voices throughout all hours and waking up by different hours to cater to children because I love my grandchildren. I never complain to my daughter because I believe family is very important. And it's just that my children are all grown up. My youngest moved out 4 years ago, and my husband and I had hopes to remodel. We didn't expect them to be living here this long.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve, my daughter gathered us all around and announced they were pregnant with a 7th baby.
No.
Everyone was all excited, but I felt dread. That would mean another child in our house with not much room. I looked over at my husband and he can tell he felt the same. We discussed later and we decided that we're going to have to ask them to move out. Last night at dinner, I brought it up to my daughter and her boyfriend, and we told them they have 2 months to find a place because we cannot have another child here. My daughter started crying, saying that she couldn't believe that I'd throw her to the streets for having a baby, that this was completely unfair and not enough time. I told her I was sorry, it was painful for me as well, but these living conditions were impossible. She demanded I give her more time or she'd go to the courts, and I told her, newsflash, the court only gives you 1 month. And she said that my grandchildren were going to be homeless because she was selfish, or I was selfish. She made a Facebook post asking for rooms to rent because she's pregnant and has nowhere to go, and her family doesn't give a hoot about her.
Right.
AITA. And then the thread was locked because of the access and root violations.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's tough. Again, that's a tough one. I think that it is irresponsible to keep having more children when you can barely take care of the amount that you have. Like, I don't know, put on a condom or something?
Okay. I think...
Birth control?
Yeah.
Stop doing it when you're ovulating. Just, there are so many things precautions to take, to just not have all of these children. That is enough children. I don't... It's irresponsible. They don't have a place of their own. They're relying on their parents, on the girl's parents. I understand being in a tough situation and needing help. But at a certain point, you're just kind of getting in your own way. Like, how are they going to afford a house if they have another child to deal with?
Yeah, children are expensive.
They're expensive.
One
you
is
have to pay for the
expensive.
hospital bills.
Not
You
just
have to
7.
pay. You have to pay for a bunch of things. You have to pay for their schooling. You have to pay for their clothes. Blah, 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 bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're supposed to be saving for a house. How are they going to do that with another baby?
Yeah, with seven
babies.
kids, 7 babies,
7 children.
Yeah, and they're all really close in age.
They're all really close in age, which is tough.
It's not like the older ones can look after the younger ones like some big families do, but they're really close.
I think that perhaps maybe the mom could have given a bigger time window. Because finding a house isn't easy. I don't know if you would be able to do it in 2 months. A house that you can properly afford, a house that they can properly afford at least.
Yeah.
Maybe like a 4-month window.
How many bedrooms are you gonna need?
It's 6 kids, and then soon to be 7. So, but the baby can sleep with the parents.
They're all like
and
like
they're all
not even a year old.
And they're all close in age.
They're not even a year old, Clara.
Most of them aren't even a year old. Yeah. Oh, geez, I don't know. That one's a tough one. I don't think so. I think not the butthole. Parents are people too.
Okay. So here's what other people say. Not the butthole. But it would have been better to set the boundaries a long time ago. Your daughter and her boyfriend need to grow up, and maybe this will be a life lesson to them. I do agree that this will be good to extend the timeline a bit and then compromise by charging rent and, for instance, saving it for them for a future rental place. That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so this one goes on to a huge rant. Okay, I'll just say a little bit of it.
Yeah, just say a little bit of it.
Okay, so not the butthole. Your daughter is essentially a bad mother. Yes, I said it. To have 6 kids with 3 different people are not the issue fully, but the fact that she cannot fully care for the one she has now and choose to risk having another one, causing even more issues for the one she has, reveals that. This will be a long-term issue for you and your daughter, though. She will use this against you because she can not see the F up she is as a person and in the choices she made. So you have some choices to make. What do you do for your grandkids? ? Do you offer them pay some of their rent to ensure they can have a home? Are you willing to kick her out but help to make sure they can make ends meet just so they're not there? Or are you willing to just say F her, let her sink and such? It's clear that she will sink without your help. So yeah, there's that. There's another long one. Wow, people are really upset.
Well, yeah, this is kids are involved, so people are going to be upset.
So, a lot of people say not the butthole. So there's that. Okay, now this will be the last one.
Okay.
So let's see what this guy has to say. Am I the butthole for looking at someone's pierced nips at the gym?
Okay.
So I went to the gym today, and nearby I was working out. There was this very attractive girl, right? This is a very attractive girl, wearing a sports bra, and clearly had very pierced nipples, clear outline in the bra, and I found it sexy as F, dude. Periodically, I would glance over. We made eye contact a few times, and she eventually approached me and asked me to stop looking at her. Oh, what's her problem? Mentioned I was being creepy and making her uncomfortable. Keep in mind, I didn't speak to her, approach her, or anything. I was using the squat rack for various exercises and was in the same spot for 30 minutes. I told her, if you don't want people looking at you, don't make it so obvious you have pierced nipples. She told me to stop objectifying her and to keep my eyes away from her. I called her crazy and she stormed off. It was like a short interaction, but I don't think I did anything wrong. Like, come on, bros. What do you think, bros?
Yucky. Ew. Gross. Don't look at people.
People's pierced
Stop
nips.
it. Yeah.
Pierced nips while they're working out.
Yeah, don't look down there.
And then if you want me to look.
Ooh, if you didn't want me to look, then why did you have them in the first place? Such stupid logic.
Okay, so Opie is offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the butthole. For telling a girl at the gym she should cover her pierced nipples, I might be the butthole because I did look at her boobs and told her she should do something about her own boobs if she didn't want me to look at them.
Oh, let me just wear a giant sweater and giant sweatpants when I go to the gym. That way I don't have to worry about any men staring at my boobs.
Your pierced nips.
Yeah, that I don't have.
That's why this is why gyms have women only days.
Yeah, this is why I don't go to the gym.
The gym is such a scary place.
Yeah, honestly,
it's such a scary place.
Terrifying. Ugh, all those people and they're all working out. Ew.
So is he the butthole here?
Yes.
I think how it's funny how like oblivious he is. He's such like a meathead like dude, bro. Who's like,
I mean, like if I were to go to so here's the thing: if I were to go to a gym and I were to see somebody with pierced nipples and and it would be obvious, I might take a glance. You know, I might be like, oh, I think that those are pierced, and then I would be like, okay, that's they've got that, and then I would continue on with my workout, and I would not look at them again.
They were like,
because sometimes you can't control where your eyes go.
Uh-huh.
You know, sometimes your eyes wander, and sometimes they land on a place that maybe they shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And in those cases, you go, whoa, okay, shouldn't look at that. And then you stop. You stop looking, and you continue on with your workout as if nothing happened.
This guy's obviously this guy is obviously going like, oh, wooga, wooga.
He literally said that he thought that they were sexy. Right?
Yeah.
So he's clearly looking at them for some sort of sexual gratification.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, like,
that's not cool.
You gotta respect other people around you.
Respect other people around you. Like, if you want to look at somebody with pierced nipples, do that in your own time, in your own home, using the internet.
Yeah. And here's what other people are saying. I would curl in a ball and die if I'd been staring at a girl so much that she felt the need to come over and tell me to stop. And then, as soon as I read, I found it sexy as F, I knew the kind of guy you were.
Uh-huh.
And then here's another one. You're the butthole. She told you to stop being creepy and objectifying her, and your response was essentially to tell her to put more clothes on. Why are you worrying to make them exactly what you sound like? This guy's such a victim blamer.
Such a victim blamer.
Oh, here's one with 1,530 downvotes.
Ooh.
And it was all deleted, so I can't read them. So.
Must have been really bad then.
Oh yeah. Okay. Here's another one with less than 1,000 with 1,000 downvotes.
Okay.
This is a response to what was she supposed to do with her pierced nips? Chop them off? You kept looking at her and you didn't need to speak to her to make her uncomfortable. So this guy says, to be fair, from what it looks like, she approached him. I started talking to him. He just stared as far as I've seen from here. And then a person responded, she approached him to call him out on his creepy behavior. True. With a comment before, wrote, I didn't need to speak to her to make her uncomfortable. She wasn't speaking to her until spoken to.
Some people on the internet just make me cringe. And I don't cringe often.
Okay, and then they say they meant that his words didn't make her didn't make her uncomfortable. His actions did. Which some might say is speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
So she then spoke to him to call him out on it. Oh, then they didn't express it, right? That's what his response is.
Okay, whatever.
They did because others understood what they meant. So there's that.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that's this guy's deal. I hope he learns to like be respectful in the gym, learn proper gym etiquette and regular etiquette.
Do not stare at other people. We are all there just to work out, to improve our health,
to burn them cows,
to make muscles, to do whatever it is we're there to do at the gym. We are not there to ogle or to be ogled. This is not some free show.
This guy walking around like picture him with his like little wife beater that goes all the way down to here. He's wearing a backwards hat.
Deep V
goes down to here.
Backward hat, yeah. Absolutely.
It goes all the way down to his belly button with his giant tub of protein, and he's like, oh, you're pierced nips.
Dude, pierced nipples, dude. That's like super hot.
Those are super hot.
Let me take a look at them like every now and then.
You didn't want me to look. You should have covered them.
If you didn't want me to look, you shouldn't have had them on.
You should have had them on.
You should have worn like some sort of massive like sweatshirt, and then I wouldn't be looking at them because I couldn't see them. But you were a little sports bra, so I could see them. So obviously they were there for me to look at.
So yeah, this guy's definitely the butthole.
Absolutely.
This guy's definitely the butthole.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's all the stories we had for today.
Yay.
So who was the biggest butthole?
I would say that the biggest one was the guy who convinced his wife to enter an open relationship that she did not want.
And then got surprised that
she got surprised that she wanted a divorce. Absolutely, yes. I think.
Divorce papers, but things were going so well.
I thought that our relationship was perfect. Wrong.
You gotta think outside your own headspace.
Exactly. What about you? Who do you think was the biggest one?
Probably divorce guy.
Divorce guy as well? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of this thing. So
okay,
I've been Nathaniel Avila.
And I have been Clara Avila.
No, you're not. What? And we'll say goodbye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to a Vision podcast, home of wacky talkies, The Kingdom, Evil Exists, and many more.